Hello, my friends. Here I am. I was waiting for you. I'm here going to read you a little bit. And today we have a book called Writing Fiction by R.V.Cassill. And we have a section number 2, Choosing a Subject. We are not going to read it for a long time, like last time. It was more than 30 minutes. Today we will be 10, 15 minutes. So you can learn how to choose a subject when you're going to be a great writer and write some fiction, some stories with nice characters. And how are you going to choose a subject? It is a question for today. And you're welcome to write me questions here or just say hi so I know that you are here. How are you? You're welcome to write me comments later if you get some thoughts on that. And you're welcome to write me emails on askmorose@gmail.com. And I'm very happy to be here today with you and read you a little bit. Okay, here we start. Choosing a subject. Often in fiction writing classes, I have found that the beginning writer will show much better taste and sense in his reading preferences than in the choice of material to be used in his own work. He admires and reads with pleasure the fiction of Hemingway and Faulkner, Catherine Ann Porter and D.H. Lawrence, Stephen Crane and James Joyce, or stories like the ones included in this book. This book has some stories, as I understood from the first part. He's always saying there are more stories later. We're gonna read it all. So you will learn how to not only write fiction, but how to understand where is fiction in our internet database and where is not fiction, where is true. And this book is going to help us. I'm reading it for the first time with you, so don't judge me too hard. And I hope we will talk about it together and discuss and know each other's thoughts. Here. Right in here. Okay. So, beginning writers will show much better taste and sense in his reading preferences than in the choice of material to be used in his own work. But, lo and behold, interesting. I don't know how to say that. Is it L-O and behold? Sorry. Some words. This book from, what year is this book, by the way? 1975. Well, a lot of different words in here, but we will deal with it. Okay. When he comes to writing his own first story, some mysterious folly leads him to choose a gaudy, sensational, and unfamiliar subject matter. Something snatched from a tabloid or an old-fashioned adventure magazine. You imagine right away old-fashioned adventure magazine. Instead of attempting to produce the genuine excitement of discovery that he himself has known in reading good fiction, he hopes to dazzle with the artificial fireworks of exotic situations, cardboard heroism, billboard beauty, and dismaying surprise endings. Surprise endings, huh? These surprise endings generally depend on the writer's withholding information that should have been given in the first paragraph of the story. That the main character is male, or a baby, or a black, or a pet, when the reader has been teased into believing the character a female. Don Juan White or merely a human being? I never quite understood why students should waste their time and mine on efforts so far off the right track. So far off the right track. Well, sometimes I guessed that they might be afraid to discover how little of their own experience they had actually possessed, how little of their own lives they had grasped. Certainly, it is terrifying to sense that all one's life has flickered away like a landscape seen from a train window, or that what remains from the vanished past is sealed away in memory as if it were in a bank vault for which there is no key. Blank vault for which there is no key. But the choice of becoming a writer is the choice to face some fears, including the fear of being a hollow or a dull person with nothing to say. There are many subtle psychological reasons why people do not like to measure themselves. But my best advice, and I cannot state it too strongly, is to face the fear of hidden embarrassments forthrightly and take the subject for your first stories from your own life. Oh, I'm sure you now just imagine the hilarious story from your own life and how to write it. From first, second, or third person? Okay. And don't please scan your life for those moments that seem most superficially colorful, nor the moments when more or less accidentally you were cast in the glamorous role of a character from a piece of sensational adventure fiction. It may well be the case that once upon a time you were involved in a hold-up and acquitted yourself like Dick Tracy in the face of danger. It may be that for a moment you were Dick Tracy instead of your good self, but however entertaining, Dick may be in his proper place in the comic strip. He is not a useful character for the kind of fiction I want to encourage. Far better to write about yourself when you were most yourself, in love, and in love with things that vanish, as Yeats puts it. As Yeats puts it. Huh. Do you know that expression? Is it an expression? Well, please write me something whenever you think of that. I will be very glad to get some email from you too. Email me at askmarusa@gmail.com. Yes, askmarusa@gmail.com. I will be very glad to hear from you. Whatever issues you have, or whatever books you would like me to read, I will be glad to hear about that, or get some ebook and discuss it with you. Okay. So he's suggesting to write your own story. Not just your own, but your own story. The one that is completely yours. Okay, but I am not recommending that for a beginning you sit down to turn out a fragment of literal autobiography. Autobiography is a special kind of writing that sometimes has a very high value. It isn't fiction, though. Yes, by the way, it's not fiction. If you're not exaggerating it, then it's not fiction. Though, and you ought to plunge with determination into the effort to make fiction. To make a story out of your own experience, you will almost certainly have to make a composite out of bits and pieces of reality gleaned in whatever place or period you can remember them. If you try to make those pieces stay in the chronological order of your own life, that would be autobiography. In fiction, you discard the actual or chronological order. You know what? This is the first real advice for this 12 pages. No, second, there was another one in the beginning. Okay, it's in the earlier videos about writing fiction. If you would like to listen to it, let me know. I think I can send you all the links for every video about writing fiction on this book, so you don't have to look around everywhere for this book, but just listen to it. Subscribe to my channel and you will get notifications about my new videos that I'm posting. In fiction, you discard the actual or chronological order. The fragments from here and there are put together because they seem according to the intent of your story to fit together. Reality, suitable as a subject for a complete story, seldom comes to us in a single nugget that require merely to be delivered to the reader in concrete, active, and sensuous prose. Rather, it may be well enough to start writing down a single autobiographical fragment, and then let the composite grow around that. Huh? It is not necessary to see a whole subject before you begin to write. One of the nice things about writing is that the full scope of a subject begins to dawn on one after he starts to write. So, once you have a glimpse of the subject, begin to put it on paper, unless stubborn habits of fear and self-doubt are too strong. Don't fear or self-doubt. For what? But just think, what is it for? Nothing. So just put it down and write. A flood of memory and imagination will begin. From the flood, you will select the materials that show the reader what your subject means, answering the questions and showing the emotional quality of the event and its relation to the universal patterns of loss and triumph that pervade all our lives. On your first effort, or your second, or your 10th, it will occur to you that after all not much has been lost of anything you ever knew. If has merely been inaccessible, and the act of writing is a way to possess your own life. I think we will finish here for today. This was good. Good advice. In fiction, you discard the actual or chronological order. This was choosing a subject. Thank you very much for listening to me. We were reading writing fiction right here. I like how this book looks. Here is like a little typing machine, typewriter, right here, you see? And he's typing it. Very interesting. In the beginning it says, I might not tell everybody, but I will tell you. Walt Whitman. Right here. Okay. So we were reading a section 2, choosing a subject. And you can start from your autobiography and put it together. No fear, no self-doubt. Go for it. And remember, your mind is a powerful thing. Think about how you want it. Depends on the rating, how much you want it. If you don't do it, that means you just don't want it. So, do something else then, okay? Well, thank you very much one more time. You're welcome to subscribe to my channel. I will be glad to chat with you. Bye bye.